What did you think of Zootopia?
I have not seen Zootopia yet. They all saw it without me.
Oh, great.
I was working, so they went. I know, seriously, I was shooting, and they saw Zootopia without me.
Gotta rent that.
That's not cool.
It's not cool.
Have you seen The Secret Life of Pets?
That was adorable. It's just open, yeah. It was so cute.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Dogs and cats and what they do when we're not around. I totally saw it. It was not as funny as I hoped.
You know what? That's what I was thinking. I saw like an extended trailer or something for it. And I thought, I don't know what they were going for.
The short trailer makes it look like it's palatable for both children and adults, and I was super excited about it, and I spent a lot of money to go see it VIP, and then it was not what I had hoped.
There's supposed to be a plot in there somewhere, right?
There's a clear, coherent plot. It's just not as witty as I thought it was going to be.
Is it like the original Toy Story? Is it at least?
No.
This one meant like similar notion. Like, what do these things do when parents?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still really great. Like, it's worth taking your kids to.
Did you have a favorite character in it?
Oh, spoiler time. Come on. Should I leave? I mean, seriously. What are you talking about today?
I don't remember their characters, though. I don't even remember the characters. The light fluffy one.
The fluffy white dog?
The fluffy white dog. She was
really fun.
Yeah, she was really fun.
So, let's bring this back around to Dark Matter. If 2 were a character in The Secret Life of Pets, which character would you choose?
The fluffy white dog.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You have to fight for her.
Totally. The fluffy white dog. I can help you.
Taming the eagle.
Kind of. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. Oh, my God, yes. Especially because his owner was like an old dude
keeping
later.
it all, keeping the whole team together.
Oh, you're right. I'm the ugly, mean eagle.
No.
It's okay. It's true. I'm the eagle. When you watch it, I'm the eagle.
All right, there it is. The ugly, mean eagle.
Yeah, I did lead with that, but that's, not being totally fair.
It's a mix of both.
This is a serious rabbit hole.
I know, right? I was going to say,
yeah, I veto this.
Obviously, we're in a rush to get to stuff.
Nice t-shirt.
Thank you.
Melissa, you went to London recently for London Comic Con. I was there. I wanted to say hi, but I was working, and then you guys left, and it was very sad.
Oh, no.
But how was the experience of going abroad and promoting the show in a different country?
So fun. I went a week early and I checked out the music scene in London, which totally blew me away. And I've never... Well, it was my first con experience outside of this one, and I've never seen people line up in lines like that. There's 3 different lineups that they have to go into. There's the lineup to get the ticket, and then they take that ticket to another lineup where they wait to stand in another lineup to get to you, and then they give you a ticket that they spent $30 on for a photograph, and then they don't even want to talk because I think that they feel rushed about all the people standing behind them, and they just get you to sign it and they leave. It's so bizarre.
Do you not feel like it's the same here as well, though? The whole not talking thing when they have the chance to talk?
I don't think so at all.
I think other people can get, when they get, like, if you're doing, like, a booth sign or something,
some of the booths just usher you through.
Just sign, grab, go. Like a couple words.
The one we did at Dark Horse last year, I feel like everyone was really chatty. Didn't you feel that?
Dark
Or
Horse
maybe
is
it was our
nice.
fault
Dark Horse
because we
is
were
really
kind
nice.
of like,
No, Dark
talk
Horse
to us. But it was great, and it was really great to see Zoe's fandom firsthand. That's got to be the thing that stuck out to me the most. Actually, Roger's, Jodel's, and Zoe's, and being sandwiched between those 3 megawatts in that community, and just kind of sitting there watching it all happen was quite the experience. Yeah, everyone was so fun, and they were very engaged over there, and there's a lot of people that love Dark Matter over there. So it was great to see that firsthand.
Are the audiences about the same as the panels, though? I mean, the reactions and everything?
They were definitely a little bit more subdued, I would say. Like, they wanted to hear what we were talking about. So it made for the question and answer panel a little bit kind of funny because people were like, no one's going to ask anything? But, yeah.
What did you do? Was that like stand-up comedy time or
Well, Roger was there, so that really helped. Yeah. And Roger and Zoe kind of riff with each other. But yeah, it was really fun to meet everybody. Oh, and I did like the photo booths. The photo booths were different. I like being able to take photos with people.
That, I think I've seen those, like Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, all those guys. You see all of those, fans are posing and having fun with them. So that looks like that would be fun.
There's a Jenga guy. He goes around with a Jenga tower and like takes photo with people in his Jenga. It might not even be a tower. It might just be a stick, a Jenga stick. I don't don't remember. But there's so many wonderful people, and the photo booth is definitely the fun part.
Anthony's not jealous at all at this point.
Well, you just
no.
did a con.
I did, yeah. And it was very different. Sort of the opposite of that. And very cool con, one in Baltimore, where it's a whole sort of science kind of festival. So they have writers and they have scientists. And Baltimore being in the DC area, there's a lot of NASA folks who work there, and they they give talks, and it's because it's a slower rhythm. You get a lot of time to talk to the fans, and you get a chance to sort of learn who they are as well, and it's pretty rewarding. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
So, going back to the story, we know we saw you guys do an episode where you played your old selves. How was that kind of playing your characters with no memories for a whole season and then going back to playing your old selves? How was that kind of in terms of the acting?
I miss my old self.
Do you?
I don't like your old self.
You don't like this?
No, I like his new self, not his old.
Oh, sure, empathy is a likable characteristic, I know, but it's fun to play the pure asshole all the time. I'm just joking around, I love 3, the way he's evolving, and I love that sort of duality. But I do, there's even another opportunity where we end up dipping into those types of roles in season 2. And there's just something really fun about playing the guy who always says the wrong thing and does the wrong thing. And Boone is sort of only half that now. 3 is only half that now, but Boone is still, it's great. You?
I guess while we were doing it, I really enjoyed exploring that, but I had a lot of anxiety that I had to kind of leave at the door because I didn't really know how to be this person who's gone through a bunch of things that I'm not really sure about, only because I don't have all the pieces of her puzzle yet. So that was kind of weird, but I would like to do more. I hope if we go for season 3 that I get to explore more of who Portia Lynn is, because I don't have her pegged yet, and I want to keep fleshing out that character because she's really gross, and I like it. It's fun to explore that.
By gross, she means sensual.
She's sensual, but I think it's gross when you use it as a tool for manipulation.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Did you
But
guys?
it's really, really fun to watch.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. It is fun.
Oh no, that's a later scene. There was one scene where we walk in, and it happens later in the season, but I'm just like touching the ship like this thing to me. I don't know why I did it, but it happened on the day, and it was just very weird after they would yell cut. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so is that in the script, or is that something you improvise, the physicality of that?
I walked into the room and I started touching the things. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't premeditate, think about it at home, because I usually do that with text and stuff. But I had no idea how to behave, and it was really weird to walk away from the set that day, because I was like, that could have been crap, that could have been good. I have no idea. But that's not my job, so leave that alone.
And with the new addition to the crew now, the dynamics between our crew as we know them and now the new folks, with the rest of the season, are we going to see different alliances being formed, maybe within our crew, and because that has to change the dynamic. We just had our crew against the world last season, and now that's changed. We've got new members of the family, as it were.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it will change.
It's going to change a great deal, and I think that in some senses, speaking off the top of my head from Tu's perspective, she's always been like 5, wanting to keep everyone working together as a team, and I think that she can have a tendency to hold on to that a little bit too tightly. It's definitely going to change dynamics, and there's new alliances being formed with characters that you wouldn't expect to see come together. It's pretty neat.
3 just doesn't trust. It takes him forever to trust, and then forever to forgive when that trust is broken, and so it takes him a while to remember the fact that there are these other bodies in the ship. That's fun.
They have to prove themselves to him, huh?
Kind of, yeah, which is funny, because it's like, the last guy on the ship you really need to prove yourself to, but for him, he's like, no, you got to prove yourself to me. But when he's I think he's probably one of the most loyal guys in the ship, and it's funny because, talking to the fans about what their perspective of the characters are, it's amazing how often that comes up.
The loyalty?
Yeah, how even though he is what he is, they're like, no, he's probably one of the most loyal characters in the ship, which is, I think, I think it's probably in the end, I don't know whether it's true, I'm not trying to rank anybody, but you wouldn't have assumed in the beginning that would be what people would take away from 3. But I know, knowing a bit where the character's going and where he's come from, that's definitely, it's probably more in his DNA than anybody else's on the ship in terms of backstory. And even though the audience hasn't seen it, they can sense it. So
I think it comes out.
Yeah.
It's like in glimpses here and there.
Yeah.
You get that. It's not obvious, but yeah, I can agree to that. Yeah.
So seeing as that's not obvious, how do you think he is responding to one's death in his own way, since he kind of the two kind of trusted each other? Do you think, we kind of see how 2 responds, but not necessarily how 3 responds to that? Yeah,
they don't make hay of it in season 2, but I can tell you that as an actor, it's funny because you're wearing. You're wearing this character when you play, and I'm not some method kind of guy, but I do remember when shooting the first scenes without one, where you would interact and things would come up and you'd behave in a way towards another character or whatever that was just sort of grumpy and weird, and you felt awkward, and it was missing one. Me as an actor, the character was missing another character and was reacting in a way that it was all the subtext stuff I remember that feeling, going, wow, this is a really weird feeling, and kind of interesting to note as an actor, right? That you can actually, a character can miss another character when they're not in the scene, and you know that you're not going to get to play with them again. And that's, that was hard. Yeah. And then, of course, as a person, it was very hard, because Mark was beloved. Is still beloved. He's a really great guy. And
he could be back, though. He still has it open for Jace to come back. Yeah.
Floating around.
Do you find that as a woman of color that sci-fi is more conducive to getting non-stereotypical material? Because for me as a viewer, I tend to prefer genre material, because I feel like when it's a diverse cast, it doesn't have a lot of the same tropes, or at least as frequently. So how is it in your experience playing material?
I think that's a spot-on observation. I think that when we're dealing with shows that are set in the future, it's great that they take into consideration that at that point we're already in that world that's post-gender, and we're still dealing with race in a very real way, especially right now. And it's great that I'm happy to be even considered a person of color, because I feel like as a person that's mixed, I'm constantly in that middle ground. I'm not white enough for certain things. I'm certainly not Asian for a lot of other things. Most people don't even think I'm half Chinese, and I kind of am in that murky gray area where people don't really know what I am, and I'm that ethnically ambiguous person who, to be completely honest, a lot of people give me flack because they think that that's the only reason why I get hired for things. Remind me of what your question was again?
Just your experience as a woman of color playing the material, or whatever you want to speak about.
I think that with science fiction, especially on sci-fi, they're very generous isn't the right word, but there are more opportunities for women of diverse backgrounds to play all of these different kinds of stories. And you don't see that on other networks, in other genres. And I'm proud to be in their company. It's a fabulous, fabulous honor. Yeah.
You don't need to prove that you're Asian. As soon as I saw you, I was like, no, there's an Asian girl on the show. I have to watch it. It's I don't know what the show's about. I'm going to watch it.
It's so crazy. Depending on my makeup, depending on my skin color, people have a hard time pegging me. And then, anyways, that's a longer, weirder story. But chicks can be weird, and it's better to just tune out the noise.
Well, maybe it's because I'm mixed too.
Yeah, hapa, I see you. That's cool.
Do you guys have questions? I'm sorry, we're having a moment.
We're having mixed moment.
That's a beautiful moment.
Anthony's just soaking it in, yeah.
Sure. I'm like the white guy in the room. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to comment.
You're the guy at the table alone.
Oh yeah, I'm the guy at the table. All right.
Is there, back to the show then, is there any particular scene or moment coming up that you would say is a favorite for us to look out for each of the characters? That's not giving away spoilers, technically.
Yeah, we were just looking at it in the car actually, because it's been tweeted out as one of the sneak peek scenes for this coming episode tomorrow night, and it's a scene between myself and Jodelle.
Okay.
Love our relationship. You see a lot more 3 and 5 in season 2 than you did, and in a way, she's sort of kind of replaced that relationship that I had with 1. Where, but what's interesting is that there's a lot of similarities between 3 and 5, and they both sort of grew up in hardscrabble kind of ways, and that whole thing, and she was an orphan, and you will find out what my story is tomorrow night, but there's a lot of similarities, so I think there's some kind of understanding between us that wouldn't necessarily exist between others on the crew, and it's just so much fun.
Okay.
So watch it.
For that for
yeah, it's right. It's I think I might even retweeted it, but Joe Malozzi definitely did, so go to his Twitter and check it out.
Okay. And you, my dear?
Off the top of my head, I will go with a fight scene, which won't be coming until the end, closer to the end of the season, and that's a good fight too. Sorry. They all are with girls, though. I'll say that. There's one massive fight that's coming up. That was a absolute marathon to shoot. He's actually in that fight as well.
Oh, okay.
But the one that I was initially thinking of, you are.
Are you sitting there with popcorn, kind of watching the whole thing?
He's not. Actually, he's not. He's being modest. But the one I was thinking of is actually another 2 and Nick's moment, and I like it because it's the first time that 2 is in a combative situation, but her energy is not combative. She's just engaging her, and they happen to be sparring. And it's a wonderful, wonderful moment, and I'm very excited to see how it turned out.
Okay, we'll look for that.
Yeah.
How are we going to see 2's and Nix's relationship potentially develop, since they seem to be really
I've heard
vibing
Twix,
well.
I've heard people shipping Twix.
Shipping the Twix.
But it seems like a really, really powerful combination, the 2 of them.
Yeah, I think that whatever was happening on set between Mel and I has created some really interesting dynamic moments on screen, and I've loved the scenes that 2 and Nix have had together so far, and I'm looking forward to see how the rest of it comes out. But whether or not we end up becoming an item is yet to be seen. There's lots of room for that relationship to grow, and if it doesn't, we're open to doing table reads of fan fiction. It's just more stuff for people to get creative about.
I wonder what's more subversive, or what's coming out of it's the same producers as Lost Girl, and I guess we all know the show there. We had a couple strong women in a lesbian relationship, and it wasn't even really commented on like it was a normal relationship. But I wonder what's, and I truly am throwing it out there as a question, I wonder what's more subversive. It being 2 straight women who have this relationship, and it doesn't become more than competitive, or it becomes this almost like buddy relationship between 2, or whether it goes in the direction that we've been sort of alluding at, the Twix, the shipping and all the rest of that stuff. I wonder which is actually more interesting and groundbreaking television. And I as the guy would not know.
A gay relationship.
Like both.
Where both of them stay alive. You don't think it's a weird overkill though? Yeah.
No, because you never see like a fully functional lesbian relationship where they stay alive.
Where they both stay alive, right?
And also the fact that if it's 2 women of color, oh my god, internet will explode.
Right.
But then you could get too much to the point where you want to see just
you don't want
a really good friendship.
And that could
It's
be a
not
concern.
pandering.
Yeah.
It's not pandering, because I get like those questions all the time from fans who are upset about the lack of representation. Like, I'm trying to not like live on my soapbox all the time because it gets awkward in interviews. I'm always the person who asks that question, but no, like that, it would be way better. Like, you don't need more. No.
But to be fair, I think a solid Thelma and Louise would be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where my question
Because we don't see a ton of that either, really.
Yeah.
So either one would be
interesting,
valid,
eh?
though. So thank you for the question to the press. We appreciate
But it's fascinating to me because I'm a guy and whatever. Like I said, it's not. I'm also probably a fairly traditional guy when it comes down to it. But I have 2 daughters, and these types of questions are actually they're always on my mind. And it fascinates me. Yeah, and this relationship and the whole sort of strong women genre that's evolving in sci-fi. Yeah, it's fascinating from a societal point.
Like, I hope 2 gets to explore that stuff, but I hope that in my brain, I think that 2 doesn't see gender. She's more about people that she happens to connect with for whatever reason she connects with them. You know, whether that be for physical sexual gratification or if it's because of a mental connection or what have you. But I would be interested in seeing her connect with men, with women, with AI. Like, if it works, then it works. And I think that would be really cool to not pigeonhole her as being one type of thing, because I don't think people are like that. I'm not like that. So yeah. Cool. What's happening behind us?
They have to leave, so we're just doing quick photos.
Oh, copy that.
And then so if you guys want to go over there really
Do you want us to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And then we'll switch tables.
Thank you so much.